Good morning. I'm sure many of us have recently said or heard others say, times are tough. It's not a phrase that has popped up just during these recent months of COVID-19, human rights issues, and hurricane season. Times often seem tough for many of us, and for a multitude of reasons. And often the answer that we hear at spiritual centers or churches is, ask and ye shall receive. Ask for what you need and you will receive it. I absolutely believe and have validated that, but I kind of wish the biblical statement had said, ask and give and ye shall receive, because it would have also succinctly included the truth principle that it is more blessed to give than to receive. Maybe if they ever ask me to revise the King James Version of the Bible, I'll combine Acts 20:55 and Matthew 7:7. But at least for today, we can look at both of those eternal truths together. Ask and ye shall receive, and it is more blessed to give than to receive. What they involve is the law of prosperity. Basically, it's simple. It says that in order to receive, all we need to do is give. It's kind of like people who are always looking for love. They ask for it, they pray for it, they look in all the wrong places for it, but when they start giving love, they finally find it. It was always right there in front of them, but they were missing it. That's why we need to remember to wear our Christ vision glasses so that we can see what's right there in front of us. I know someone who has lived all over the world looking for love, looking for people to live around who are loving. She has checked out literally the four corners of the earth, India, Australia, Ireland, and too many states in America to name, spiritual centers all over the world, and special communities for people with special interests. But she never finds the loving community she's searching for. The truth is, it's not about finding love. It's about giving love. We will receive in proportion to what we give. If we are loving and giving, most people will usually respond in kind. We set up an energy field where that is just what happens around us. And the same is true with anything. The more we give and share, the more we receive. That law of prosperity is the opposite of what most of us have been programmed to believe in the West. The prevailing conditioning here is one of scarcity. We unconsciously believe that the more we give, the less we'll have for ourselves. That just isn't true. We're all connected, and what happens to one of us affects all of us in ways that we can't even begin to imagine or comprehend with our limited minds. Remember that classic example about how the fluttering of a butterfly's wings in Africa can set in motion the conditions that create the Cat 5 hurricane in Miami? One small event affects another, which affects another, until it finally gives impetus to a mighty storm. That principle can best be seen, I think, in a story of an Indian farmer whose corn won the blue ribbon at the state fair year after year. One day, an enterprising reporter made an interesting discovery while interviewing the farmer. He found that this Indian shared his prize-winning seed corn with his neighbors. The reporter asked, "Why would you share your best corn seeds with your neighbors when they are entering their corn in competition with yours each year?" "Why, sir," said the wise Indian, "don't you know? The wind picks up the pollen from the ripening corn and swirls it from field to field. If my neighbors grow inferior corn, cross-pollination will steadily degrade the quality of my corn. If I am to grow good corn, I must help my neighbors grow good corn." And thus is the story of the oneness of all life, the interconnectedness of all things. What we give, we receive. Often we ask ourselves what we are getting out of life. What we should be asking is, what am I giving to life? When Gillian Kilberg McLean, Virginia High School senior's grandmother died, Kilberg wanted to honor her grandmother's memory in a way that would benefit the community. With the $20,000 she inherited and help from donors like Colin Powell, she started Grandma Rita's Children's Camp, a day camp for needy children. In its first year, it included trips to an Orioles game and a Motown concert. Gillian said, "This lets these kids be kids and gives them hope that there is a world outside their everyday ghetto environment." Maybe donors to the project felt like they were giving, but in the long run, they were getting some good citizens in their town. These children would not only pay it forward in time, but by feeling worthy of everyone's trouble, they would be better citizens and thus reduce the amount of crime and poverty in their area. Ultimately, it could even lower taxes. The last time I checked, it costs $40,000 a year to incarcerate a criminal. Low crime could raise the real estate values, and it could attract new people to their town. Just in monetary terms alone, Gillian Kilberg could have doubled her $20,000 by giving it away and helping set in motion other such projects that would result in her whole community being wealthier. Former President Jimmy Carter wrote a book entitled Living Faith. It's about Merck and Company, a big pharmaceutical firm with a very big heart. For years, they had been manufacturing a medicine called Mectizin, which starves off heartworms in dogs. Then a research scientist realized that Mectizin could work in humans too. In many of the undeveloped African and American countries, there is a serious danger in Africa, in those Latin American countries, of what's called river blindness, passed on by the bite of a little black fly. The fly's bite results in itchy rashes, huge swollen bumps on the body, and eventually total blindness. In some of the more remote areas of the affected countries, the whole adult population is blind. One tiny little pill of Mectizin each year can prevent river blindness in those who haven't yet been affected, or stop the progression of the disease in those already affected. For those who are already suffering through the stages of river blindness, the pills can cure the itchy rashes and swelling that cause so much needless suffering. The head of Merck approached the Jimmy Carter Center with a uniquely ingenious offer. If the Carter Center could figure out a way to distribute the Mectizin pills to the affected countries, Merck and Company would supply as many of them as they needed to treat every individual in danger of river blindness free. The Carter Center located John Moores, a Texas businessman who agreed to use his talents and resources for the project. He created the River Blindness Foundation, a distribution arm of Merck and Company's efforts. By 1995, they had treated over 14.5 million people worldwide with Mectizin pills, and more people are benefiting from the program every year. Today, if you visit New Jersey, stop by the headquarters of Merck and Company. Their main lobby houses a poignant statue of a child leading his blind father. Blindness used to be the only fate possible for millions of people in Africa and Latin America, but thanks to the efforts of the Riverboat Blindness Foundation and the Merck Company, that's not how it will be any longer. The Merck Company gave to the world. They no doubt received from the world in terms of respect and sales, but other companies just put their money directly into advertising. Merck took a chance and spent that money in giving to others. Maybe we don't have the influence of a former president or a large pharmaceutical company, and our giving may not be on such a grand scale, but we might all well ask ourselves, how am I giving back to life? As we give, we will receive. When you love, you will be loved. When you give your time, kindness, and attention, you will receive. Like the Indian who made sure his neighbor and competition had the best corn seeds, knowing that his neighbor's corn would cross-pollinate and affect his own. We are constantly cross-pollinating each other on many levels, and whatever we dish out, we'll get back. In the West, we say it's more blessed to give than to receive. In the East, they call that good karma. The words don't matter, but the principle, the law of prosperity, is the same. east, west, north, or south, yesterday, today, or tomorrow. It's an eternal law. When President John Kennedy said, "Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country," he was sharing ancient wisdom that applies to everything in our lives. I wish he had added, because that's how we can make our country better so that we'll all have a better place in which to live. That point needs clarification for many people. If we spend half as much time giving to our country and to others as we spend complaining about them and our scarcity, our lives would be more abundant. It's sort of like those drug dealer films like Breaking Bad and The Wire. The dealers kill their competition, and pretty soon their new competition kills them, because killing competition becomes the law in their world. That's the way it works. We are so rich here at Unity, all of us. We have been blessed with teachings and spiritual principles that help us live, love, and laugh if we practice them. We can share those teachings and the joy, kindness, and harmony they give us with others. And it isn't a sacrifice on our part. By giving, we will be creating a vibration of love, joy, and peace, which will come back to us tenfold. That's the eternal law of prosperity. It's simple. All we need to do is remember it and watch our thoughts so that we don't fall back into old patterns of scarcity. There's a Taoist teaching that goes, watch your thoughts, they become words. Watch your words, they become actions. Watch your actions, they become habits. Watch your habits, they become character. Watch your character, it becomes your destiny. This is a profound truth, and of course right in line with our unity principle, your thinking makes your world. We just need to watch our thinking, allot it first. We need to be the witness to our thoughts so that we can identify those scarcity thoughts and delete them, or use affirmations to replace them before they become words, actions, habits, our character, and then our destiny. Nip those old scarcity thought patterns in the bud. Delete, delete. Now, one of the thoughts that might come up is, well, how far do I go before I become too self-sacrificial and give so much that I have nothing left to give? And that is where wisdom and discrimination enter in. You must give to yourself too. You are an important part of your world also. You must eat, sleep, and relax, for example. You have to set boundaries. You can't be codependent. You are certainly one of those people in your life to whom you must give. Wisdom must prevail. But think about it. Giving often takes seconds. It might even be an attitude, a smile, a kind word, or your undivided attention that goes along with the time that you are already giving. It costs you nothing. Maybe it's listening attentively as a child talks, giving a sandwich to a homeless person, letting someone go before you in traffic, or thanking someone with a genuine smile. There are effortless acts of love that create the pattern of giving in your life. Maybe it's taking a moment to forgive or not judge someone. This is a gift, mostly to yourself, but also to the other person. Jesus said, "It is more blessed to give than to receive." What we need to understand is that it is more blessed to ourselves than anyone. We are the ones who benefit the most from giving. It creates a positive vibration in which we can live. It's manifesting the kingdom of heaven on earth for us to live in. So, commit today to changing your thinking from lack to abundance. Think about the fact that the more you circulate the riches of your time, love, attention, and kindness, the more you will set up that life for yourself. And don't worry about mistakes. At the end of the day, take stock in what you have done. Think of ways that you can do better tomorrow, but don't beat yourself up if you fall a little short. Go one day at a time, and eventually your whole life will change. But for now, pat yourself on the back for each act of kindness, one day at a time. And you know, this idea of giving is no longer considered to be just spiritual. It has invaded the world of psychology. I ran across an article entitled 20 Reasons Why It's Better to Give Than to Receive. It was on the internet, and it wasn't written by a minister or spiritual teacher either. The article said, "It is more blessed to give than to receive because 1, giving makes you happy. Whether it's giving blood several times a year or doing community service, statistics show that 43% of people who do give are happy as opposed to 29% who don't. 2, giving communicates something important about our worldview. Those who hoard or those who think that there is only so much to go around, they're wrong. 3, giving helps us live longer. 4, giving increases our social connectedness, which improves our health. I guess COVID wasn't around when that one was written. 5, giving is contagious. The paying it forward idea works. 6, giving gives your life meaning. 7, giving helps depression. 8, giving increases your confidence. 9, giving generates contentment. 10, giving makes you likable and creates lasting relationships. And 11, giving is just the right thing to do. I'll stop at 11, but you get the idea. Giving is good for us, physically, psychologically, and spiritually. So, for today, I just wanted us to start thinking about this idea of giving so that we can commit to it. Our lives will be better and the world will be better. There will be more abundance of all kinds. And you can start today, and then tomorrow will follow, and then one day at a time you will change your destiny. Habit grows from repetition. They say that anything repeated for 3 weeks becomes a lifestyle change within your mind. And don't forget that one person, you, can make a major difference in other people's lives. Above all, you can make a major difference in your own life by giving. At the end of every day, you might ask yourself, what would life have been like for others if I had not been a part of this day? You can make a positive difference in someone else's life just because you lived today. You can make someone else's life better, and you can surely make yours better. Sometimes your very presence brightens your home, your workplace, and the people you meet along your path. Maybe you are the teacher or the role model that someone has been waiting for. Giving can be seeing the good in every person, regardless of what they do. Giving is paying God's love forward. Eventually, you may get to the point where your every action is inspired by wanting to make a positive difference in the life of every person you encounter. And that's when you will have won the lottery in terms of creating heaven on earth for yourself. So go forth now and be a blessing in your world so that you might have life and have it more abundantly. You deserve it, and it is your heritage.